Hello there fellow Star Wars fans and welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to answer a question to a debate that Star Wars fans have had since late 2019. Is the Mandalorian, or Din Djarin, a knockoff Boba Fett? In this video I'm going to go over several popular reasons why fans say that the Mandalorian is just a knockoff Boba Fett, and see if those reasons are valid. Now just to clarify, the Boba Fett I will be comparing Din Djarin to is the Boba Fett from the original Star Wars movies, not the one from the book of Boba Fett. And then after I go through all the reasons, I'll be summarizing everything and explain why this debate is so important. Reason number 1, their personalities. Many people have commented that the Mandalorian and Boba Fett act very similar. Both are silent warriors whose expression is hid behind a helmet. They don't say a lot, but when they do, it's really cool and necessary. Now in my opinion, this reason is pretty valid. Although some Mandalorians act like the two of them, this isn't really something that's uniquely Mandalorian. So yes, I do think that they copied Boba Fett in that aspect. Reason number 2, Din Djarin's outfit was copied from Boba Fett's. Now I know the fact that they both wear Mandalorian armor doesn't mean that Din is a copy of Boba Fett. What I'm talking about is the fact that Din Djarin's outfit in the first episode of the show is very similar to his first outfit in Boba Fett's first appearance. Now as much as we Star Wars fans want to pretend that the Star Wars Holiday Special never happened, unfortunately it did. In that terrible movie, we got the first appearance of Boba Fett. He shows up in a cartoon that Chewbacca's son Lumpy is watching. In the cartoon, Boba Fett appears wearing a different outfit to the one we see in the Star Wars movies. This outfit is actually pretty similar to the one we see Din Djarin wear in the first episode of The Mandalorian. They both have a silver helmet, a cape, they even have the exact same gun. The resemblance is uncanny. Now Boba Fett's breastplate is more yellowish than brown, but it's still pretty close. There's no way that this is a coincidence. They had to have copied that down from the holiday special. So in my opinion, I think this reason is valid and they definitely used this outfit for inspiration. Reason number 3, their childhoods. Boba Fett had a pretty unconventional childhood. He was raised by his Mandalorian father, Jango Fett. As he got older, Jango would take Boba on bounty missions. He learned how to track down bounties, how to fight, how to shoot, and how to fly Slave One. This continued until Jango's death at the beginning of the Clone Wars. Din Djarin's parents were also killed during the Clone Wars, but instead of by Jedi, by Separatist droids. He was then rescued by a Mandalorian who took him in and raised him as a Mandalorian foundling. Their childhoods might seem a little similar. Both of them had parents or a parent die in the Clone Wars, and then later grew up resenting the thing or person that killed their parent or parents. However, in my opinion, I don't necessarily think this reason is 100% valid. You could sort of twist it to make it sound really similar, but lots of people have had their parents die in the Clone Wars. Reason number 4, ruling Mandalore. So not everyone knows this, but 23 years after the Battle of Yavin, Boba Fett was sent on a bounty hunter mission to take down the ruler of Mandalore. He was successful and defeated the leader of Mandalore. Before dying, he asked Boba to rule Mandalore. Boba accepted and he became the Mandalore. That's what they call the leader of Mandalore for those of you who didn't know. Thus finishing his career as a bounty hunter. As of this video, Season 3 of The Mandalorian hasn't come out yet, but we can still be pretty sure that Din Djarin is on his way to rule Mandalore. He won the Darksaber in combat, which in canon makes you the ruler of the Mandalorians. Again, very similar to Boba Fett. I think this reason is a valid one, and Din Djarin's journey is being copied from Boba Fett. So in conclusion, on their own, some of these reasons don't necessarily mean that the Mandalorian is a knockoff of Boba Fett. We've seen several stoic, silent characters and kids who have lost their families in the Clone Wars. However, all of these things combined are just too much to ignore. Both of them are quiet, Mandalorian bounty hunters who toward the latter half of their life ruled Mandalore. The writers even had them wear a very similar color scheme in their outfits. Now why is this so important and upsetting to me? The fact that they were so similar was the reason that they had to change Boba Fett into who he was in the book of Boba Fett. He went from the cool stoic bounty hunter that we all knew to the incapable leader he became in the book of Boba Fett. They already had a character that acted like Boba Fett, and when they added him into the show they had to change one in order for it to work. And who did they choose to change? Boba Fett. I wish that instead of creating a knockoff Boba Fett and then adding in the real Boba Fett and changing him, that they would have just made The Mandalorian about Boba Fett. You could have basically had the same show and just have Boba in there instead of Din Djarin. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me that The Mandalorian is a knockoff Boba Fett? Why or why not? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time.